Hello everybody, and welcome back to Northern Lights Excursions. We are making food. I think we're making food, or doing some writing. Maybe both. Maybe both. Here, let me tilt my mic a little bit. Is that enough? Okay, there we go. Maybe I should move it some. I had it at a weird angle. Okay, look. You don't come here for professional content. I know that. The three of us headed back into the ship's gallery, where we'd make camp. Tobin and I took care of prepping the catfish, while Liam got the vegetables ready. Oh. Soon enough, the old gallery was infused with the fragrances of genuine Cajun cooking, probably the first time in decades. A freshly caught meal, well on its way to our stomachs. Oh, of course, it was, things. Okay. Okay. You got the movie figured out, yeah? Mostly. Got the ending. Some sort of deal with the devil that backfired. Sometimes all you want to do is reconnect, no matter the cost. Looking over to a dark corner of the room, I kept imagining the presence of some creature lurking in the shadows, waiting to step out, offering a hand to shake alongside a wicked, sinful smile. I tense up for a moment, seeing the glisten of a pearly white, twisted smile appear in the darkness. Rubbing my eyes before going into a panic as it was gone. A ticking, trick of the mind, surely? Why is he like this? Do you all do that? Do you all, Has anyone hallucinated? I feel like that's hard to do. At least for me, it is. Yeah, a fella got what he wanted, even if it wasn't the way he wanted it. Oh, love that. Guy should have read the fine print. What about the start? Well, we already settled on romance. Something sweet. Really want to get the audience attached before stuff goes wrong. I just got to figure out what brings the devil into the story in the first place. Oh, I'm sure you'll come up with it before we head back. No doubt in my mind. Sinking our teeth into the catfish dinner was a divine, warming experience that carried us into the final night of the ship. I'm gonna go to the ballroom one more time. If I just sit on it again, I'm sure I'll figure it out. That's all. That's all. Weird, but okay. Sorry about that, folks. I'm sure I'll figure out the rest. Have a full script cooked up by the weekend. Tobin and Liam gave a nod, cracking open a deck of cards to play a game together, leaving me to wander off alone into the ballroom one last time. Walking through the wary room, I pondered on Liam's words earlier. How words on paper shouldn't matter to anyone. They didn't seem to matter to Jebediah nor Emil, and not even Billy. They were just living their lives, true to themselves in a way I don't understand how to be. The world around them be damned. I walked straight over to the piano, as it had been the best source of fuel to get my mind running, carrying it toward a killer story to tell. Setting the seat upright, I sat down, running my fingers over the old ivory keys one more time. Closing my eyes, I felt over them, picturing what it'd be like to play them, to be Jebediah, the prodigy pianist, living in his element, an ear flicking as I stroke one key, pressing it gently to hear its distorted note again. A few more presses of the key, and the note melted into a warm song. That's a real nice song, Jeb. Oh, that's a captain. Not a meal, Orange caught me off guard. Is it for the wedding? Yes, sir. Wanted to write something extra special. Pour my heart out.
Well, you're the best pianist player in all the South, so I have no doubt you're coming up with something perfect. Be sure to enjoy it.
I spent an hour more with my trusty instrument, practicing, tweaking, and refining the song, getting it all down on the sheet music. As I felt the ship stop, I knew it was time. The paddle wheeler dropped most of its guests in New Orleans. Only a handful stayed for the next voyage. Some arrangements had been made, and others would just come into action now. A few friends joined me in the ballroom as we moved seats and tables around, placing a few small bouquets of cotton buds, and lemon leaves at each table. We strung up colorful fabric banners and lit elegant white candles with the help of the secretive yet a loving support group. We all carried out secrets together, finding strength in numbers as we grew more aware of each other's trust over the years. The hour had come at last, a chance to be true to my heart. Among our friends, not caring what the rest of the world had to say, all that really mattered was how Emile and I felt about each other. Entering the ballroom unescorted, I walked to the aisles, approaching a preacher at the end of the room. Standing before him, I briefly checked the notes I'd written. 14 friends in total were seated at the tables. They're there to bear witness to the ceremony. My heart raced as the seconds passed, eyes glued to the door at the end. Just a moment later, it pushed open, and out walked Emile in his trusted overalls, shaking like a leaf as he made his way down the aisle. Everyone present at the wedding was understandably a bundle of nerves, partaking in a clandestine ceremony. The fox stumbled the last few steps, and I caught him in my arms. Chuckling softly, I helped Emile back to his feet, staring into his beautiful eyes.
Welcome, everybody. We are gathered here today to join these gentlemen, Jebediah and Emile, in holy matrimony. It is always a great honor of mine to be asked to wed two loving souls, though I must confess, this is a new one for me. The church says many things about love, what it should be and what it shouldn't be. But I believe that Romans 12:9 says it all. Love must be sincere. Hate what is evil, cling to what is good. And I have no doubt that the love Jebediah and Emile share is deeply sincere, as is the love everyone in this room shares with each other in united friendship. That's the love that truly matters.
Emile looked bashful at the floor, nervously twitching his right foot as the pastor said his piece. All the while I kept smiling widely, in admiration of the love of my life standing next to me.
But that's enough of this old man's ramblings. I believe the couple has crafted their own vows to share.
As the preacher nodded towards me, I looked at the note card in my pocket, feeling them for an instant. But in that moment, I realized I didn't even need them. The right words were in my heart, waiting to come forth. What? Mon amour? Mon amour? Sorry, man, I don't understand language. I do be an American.
For the moment I laid eyes on you, my whole world changed. Until we met that fateful day in the French Quarter, I've never known true happiness. You bring ecstatic beauty wherever you go. Through the heat of the day and the chill of the night, cherishing every moment we share.
Oh, God. Well, these are words, yes. You see them right there. You can probably pronounce them far better than I could. I'm not going to try.
To love you today, tomorrow, and for all of our tomorrows.
Giving a nod to the priest, he nods back. I looked over to Emile, his eyes already covered in tears, tail beating back and forth.
Jebediah, you fill my soul with music, and warm my heart with more than the sun. With you, I found love sweeter than beignets. I promise to be your partner in the dance of life, and love you with all of my heart, forever.
As Emil finishes his vows, the preacher spoke up to us in the crowd once more.
Do you, Jebediah, take Emil to be your partner, to hold and protect, so long as you both shall live.
With a grin, as I stared into Emil's eyes, I felt the words in my soul, perhaps the two most important ones I'd ever speak in my life, yet I was more than ready and happy to say them.
I do. Do you, Emil, take Jebediah to be your partner? To hold and protect, as long as you both...
I do. The fox couldn't even wait for the priest to get out all the words, his excited declaration making all in the room chuckle, admiring the fox, who looked ready to jump for joy. Emil and I took turns, sliding the pair of rings onto each other's fingers, both of us smiling more brightly than we ever had before.
By the power vested in me, I now pronounce you married. You may kiss the groom.
I wrap an arm around Emil and pulled the fox against me. Whoa, that is loud music. Let me turn that down just a little bit. I wrapped an arm around Emil and pulled the fox against me, giving him a tender kiss in front of the applauding friends. Tears run down both our faces, so happy to have our union and each other forevermore. We turned to face our friends, grinning at all of them, so grateful we'd found our open-minded people right here in New Orleans. A select group who, like us, chose to be true to themselves. No words off the Bible, no angry rants of hate-fueled priests, and nor any social class divide could ever stop us from being who we really are. The festivities kicked off at once. Emil and I danced up a storm as my trusted band played for the crowd. The lively jazz filled all of us with joyous energy, and the occasional sip of moonshine left a warmth in everyone's faces. After a while, I gave the fox another kiss and stepped away from him. The band finishes off the song, and my apprentice stood so that I could sit at my faithful piano, adjusting my own music sheet only for a moment before looking over to the fox.
I wrote a song for us, Emil. Pure love for you, straight from my heart. Straight from my heart. Put to tune. Please, my sweet honeysuckle, sit with me.
The fox took his spot at my side, brushing up against me, while I caressed the ivory keys with my paws, starting my gentle tune. Picturing our lives together so far, dancing, harvesting the cotton crop, secret picnics, I let every moment of our journey run through my heart and carry my claws through the melody I've crafted, every chord a distinct expression of my soul. The future ahead of us seemed so clear at this moment. We'd go north, make a life together, buy some land, a little farm to call our own. Work in the field together, play piano for Emil as the sun set. Live an honest, authentic life. Emil truly was my everything. His laughter, his voice, they were the music I loved the most in my life. I longed to hear it daily. Because we will spend every day together from now on. Today is just the beginning of the rest of our lives. Emil let his head rest on my shoulder as the band joined in with the song. Our tails crossed over each other, allowing our souls to meld together through the melody.
I love you, Jeb.
What, Zealot?
Heathen! Stop at once!
A group of armed men forced their way into the ballroom. In an instant, I was on my feet, barely standing between the gunmen and Emil.
We haven't done anything wrong. We've kept away, kept quiet. Wicked sinner! All of you! Defiling our good city with your heretical ways, tainting the ground with every step you take. Look around you. Honest, hard-working folk, corrupted into thinking like you, into betraying God's words.
All I could think about was keeping Emil safe. I would never let anything bad come to him. I only wish to provide him with a life of happiness.
Please, we'll leave tonight. You won't ever see us again. There is no escape for you, sinner. Only retribution, cleansing. Your blood will pour into the river and purify the city once more, washing away everything you've corrupted.
Oh, lit. A searing pain radiates through my gut. I looked down to find the fabric of my shirt torn, a red splotch slowly spreading, collapsing to the floor. Emil screams, dropping to the floor with me. The room filled with the sounds of gunfire, furniture being flipped, innocent folk fighting for their lives against the pious forces of hatred that stormed this secret, discreet ceremony. I groaned in pain as Emil dragged me towards a small nook. The nook was secluded enough to keep us out of direct line of fire. The fox sobbed, stuttering up a storm, trying to say something, to have anything come out of his mouth. Oh, that's nice. I like this. Yeah, nice. As I lay on the floor, bleeding from my gut, I held a paw over the wound as the sound of holy hellfire continued to ring throughout the room.
Don't leave me, Jebediah.
The pain was so intense. It had me wheezing as I struggled to take a clear breath. I shakily raised a paw to caress the fox's muzzle.
I love you, Emil. Please, run. Get away from here.
The screaming and shouting in the room steadily faded as more and more lives were taken from this world by these righteous bigots. Accomplices in letting true love be gunned down for the sin of being themselves.
I can't. Not without you, Jeb. You're my everything. I'll be with you, always. Carry on for us, for what's right. You must take our story, keep our union inside you. Please, go north, get away from here, live, for us.
The fox sobbed still, holding on to me as tight as he could, but the gunfire was slowing. It wouldn't be long for those zealots went searching for any hideouts. With one last brief kiss, Emil brushes the side of my cheek, and trying to smile even though it hurt.
Goodbye, Jeb. I'll always love you. Always.
As my vision grew dark, I just managed to witness the fox escaping the room, and hearing the splash in the water as he dove off. I knew in my heart that he would survive. For us. I pictured myself with Emil after a hard day in the field, sipping lemonade, stealing a kiss when no one was looking. Savoring his infectious, joyous laugh afterwards. Every time without fail, not a single tune could ever muster up that same pure, unadulterated feeling of warmth and love. Memories of half a life spent with Emil, having found true joy in life, flashed by. The pleasant, lingering smell of cotton buds and lemons found accompanying me in the beyond.
Don't be so tense. It's okay.
Billy took my arm, guiding it to rest on his shoulders. Nervously, I gripped it, feeling the softness looking into Billy's kind eyes as he kept on smiling. Reassuringly.
So, what do you think? Cuddling ain't so bad, right?
It's kinda nice. Yeah. The fox chuckled, tilting his head down a little. Our noses bump into each other. The warmth of his breath washed over me, slowly melting away my hesitation, quieting my doubts. I had never realized just how nice Billy smelled until now. Sweet like honey, a faint scent of citrus from magnolia flowers sprinkled in. The door in my room slammed open, and with an ear-deafening crack, raising my head, temporarily blinded by the light being cut off, it took me a moment to register that it was my father standing in the doorway.
What the hell is going on here?
Pa, it's nothing.
Shut your fucking mouth, boy.
My enraged father stormed across the room, dragging the fox out of the bed by his ankle. With absolutely no intention of being gentle, the fox clawed at the floor, trying to pull free.
Let go of me, you fucking nutcase!
Hurrying to my feet, I charged after my father, hoping I could somehow get him to stop. Instead, he turned and threw a punch, which connected hard against my jaw with enough force that I felt my ass. He kept on dragging Billy out of the room, slamming my bedroom door shut and locking it from outside. All I could hear was the fox cussing up a storm and a heavy thumping every time he was forced down another step. Upon hearing the front doors slam, I hurried over to the window, peering outside, trying to discern what was going on.
What foul, wretched depravity have you brought into my house?
I couldn't see what was happening, but there was a loud, sickening thud. A yowl of pain tugged at the window. I tugged at the window, trying to yank it open so I could go outside.
How dare you try to decide what's right for my son? The only word that matters is that of the Lord.
You don't get to decide what's right for Cody, you psychotic fuck.
There's no place in this world for filthy faggots like you.
I could make out noises of a further scuffle, followed by a blood-curdling scream of pain, one that could only come from the deepest part of one's soul, born of pain that no one could ever endure. In a burst of desperation, I smashed the glass open of the window with my desk chair, stumbling out of okay, sir, off the balcony and into the bushes. I hurried to my feet. By the time I got there, the fox was gone. My father was alone, standing on the sidewalk, furious, blood dripping from my left hand. He turned to face me, the devil's fury blazing into his eyes. He unfastened his belt and practiced a practiced motion by now, slowly walking toward me.
And you some kind of filthy queer in my house?
With a tug, he snapped with the belt, making a loud cracking sound that promised a thorough punishment. Imagination and memories collide. I could see it so clearly in my head. Oh, okay. Well, that's a cool CG, actually. Okay. The imagined villain of our next movie, and the very real memory of what would be the last night I ever saw Billy. The fire in their eyes was identical, their absolute hatred pure. No words could be exchanged to quell their zealous rage. With a heavy thud, I fell off the piano bench, scrambling across the filthy floor to the wall, dragging my legs up to my chest, tears flowing like a river, drenched in a cold sweat. My back felt aflame, as though it'd be freshly belted by my paw, and my stomach hurt as though I could feel the very bullet wound that led to Jeb's demise. More than anything, I wanted to stop it. I wanted to shake away the memory, to get rid of the vivid fiction, to reject these images out and away from my being, desperate to come back to normality, to being myself. Suddenly, I felt arms around me and pulled me off the floor. I found breathing even more challenging after being crushed into a hug by none other than Liam.
Snap out of it! Why are you so upset?
For a few moments longer, I raggedly sobbed, barely able to control my breathing, seeking to expel all of the hurt inside me, and being too slowly recollect myself. Forced to think on the spot, I could only come up with one thing to say to explain myself, even if it wasn't the truth. I couldn't have them worry about me now. Ease off! I finished the movie. Shortly after Liam set back to my feet, Tobin walked into the room to see what all the commotion was about. He watched as I wiped tears out of my face with my shirt. I had to hold it together. What's going on?
Cody was in hysterics or something.
I was just caught up in the moment of my, caught up in my imagination. Okay? What does it matter? I know how the movie goes now. It kind of matters, Cody. You keep acting weird on this ship. It must be one hell of a movie you cooked up. That you are getting so lost in it. Well, it is. Or Forbidden Wedding and Bloody Revenge. Guess you pictured it pretty good to be crying like that. Liam looked upset still, as though he couldn't really make sense of why I reacted the way I did. Even Tobin's frustrated expression seemed to imply he didn't believe me. Something like that. Uh-huh. Well, quit your crying then. I should get some sleep so you can jump on the iron while it's hot tomorrow. Nodding in agreement, I followed the pair back to the gallery, crawling into my sleeping bag. They easily drifted off to sleep, while I simply stared into darkness. Excuse me, struggling to process all of this. Man, I can never just sit in bed and sleep either. Always gotta sit there for an hour. I never imagined something so clearly before. Never truly felt scared or upset by what I came up with. Ever since Billy left, I've been trying so much harder to repress my gay thoughts. I knew what I was, but so badly wanted it to not be true. In my own little life, even in my twisted imagination, being gay just led to pain. Why can't I be happy? Staying in the closet is clearly for the best. Maybe if I try harder, I can fall in love with a girl and just be normal. At least then no one will hate me. Even with these troubled thoughts swirling around in my head, exhaustion eventually sets in, and I drift off to an uneasy sleep. The next morning, with the movie plot fresh in my mind, an offering of food left in the ballroom for the spirits that had that had let us enter their space, and our gear packed, we head back to New Orleans. It only takes me a couple of days to finish the script, coordinate everything with the film club, and for the following week, we were all practically living on the ship. That kind of sounds fun. The story I'd imagined, practically seen, was certainly inspired, yet I couldn't believe myself to cast Emile. I couldn't bring myself to cast Emile, replaced him with a traditional fiancé. Conflicting societal classes that were traditionally forbidden to be married, the change felt almost disingenuous, but it was for the best. Maybe it was even the way it was supposed to be. It was just a story after all. I needed to tell it the right way, the proper way. Intrusive thoughts be damned. What other choice is there? I couldn't ever let them see that. What if they see me? The day that filming finally wrapped, we threw a party on the boat and left the flowers throughout her. The majestic Creole queen as a blessing to being so kind to us. As we pushed away from the ghost ship one final time, I stared at her until it was out of sight, watching Jebediah and Emile dance through the window until there were nothing but specks of dust in the setting sun. We rode off into the bayou, one last time. Tobin, Liam, and I, together, trudging through waters wherever we needed to, looking forward to the premiere in 2 weeks, and me, personally, to putting everything behind me. Everything. Maybe society was right, and I was simply delusional to ever believing that that I could be happy being gay. Even now, my mind knew it. Gay is pain. I'll get a fresh start soon, sure, but there's no place out there where I'll belong truly as myself. Oh, it's a little quiet in the levels. Oh, is that the end of a story? That was cute. I really liked that. That was very nice. I'll let the credits sit for a second, so you all can see, Oh. Oh, very good. Very good. It's all nice. This is still good. Still like it a lot. Aw. Curious how the other episodes are going to go then, you know? They're like, what, there's like 5 tapes on the main menu? Probably more than that. I'm bad at counting, guys. To be continued. Thanks for playing. Well, thanks for making it. Yeah, there's, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? I was almost there. I was almost there, guys. So I assume we'll get 6 total, which is exciting. I like that. And I'll look forward to the next build of the main game as well. Always pleasant, always nice. But I will be ending the part here, everyone. So I hope you have all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys around.